Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaurava. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. One level down. So we will start reading. Oh, Prabhu, who has the online thing to share? Do you have it, the PDF? You can share it, Prabhu. We all have our books. You both can share. How can you see in the phone? It's too small and just. Okay. So who wants to read? Shivam Prabhu, do you want to start?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. After my success in raising funds for Juhu in Lagos, I went to the Canary Island to pursue more leads from my friend Damodar Chandrai, whose daughter lived there. I developed what turned out to be a compelling strategy for approaching the Hindus there, advising them that they had to ensure that their children maintained their Vedic culture and were aware of and convinced about the Vedic knowledge. I explained that their children might not accept the tradition solely on faith. It had to be presented to them rationally and scientifically, which practically only ISKCON devotees and many of whom came from the West could do. I also said that their children, most of whom knew only Spanish, should read Vedic scriptures, and that only ISKCON could provide Spanish translation. I arranged a Spanish book for them, and they were delighted to become life members. But they could not afford to contribute more than the membership fees. The Sindhis, especially the wealthiest ones, were a close, a neat group, and friends in the Canary Island suggested Sindhis in different places whom they thought could contribute. So after Canaries, I pursued affluent Sindhis in places as far flung as Italy, Jamaica, and San Diego, California, but none of them gave much. In America, I also received several invitations and suggestions to preach there, and I began to think I should. I had seen the college preaching that devotees were doing in Berkeley, and it seemed like a good field for me. In 1971, in Gorakhpur, Srila Prabhupada had told me that I should try to get his book accepted in universities by the scholarly class. So I began to put together a whole plan how I would preach there, write for BTG, and meet with leading intellectuals. Prabhu Vishnu.
So at this point, where is His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj? In the US, because he is trying to collect from the Indians and all in California. Canary Islands is also nearby from there. Yeah. Please continue, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Sorry, Prabhu, it was on mute. Prabhu Vishnu was in Juhu to manage affairs, and ECC was taking care of the construction. So I concluded that I wasn't needed in Bombay. I would just let them carry on, and when the building was ready, I would go back and preach. I extended my tour as long as possible before returning to India for Mayapur festival. I was still having difficulty surrendering to the idea of being based in Bombay. Bewildered about what course I should take, I consulted various senior devotees in Mayapur. Tamal Krishna, who had already given up his service in India, told me, "You are just wasting your time here. You should come out and do something." Satswarupa thought the idea of my writing and preaching in the West was good, as did Ravindra Swarup. Everyone seemed to agree. The only one who didn't was Gopal Krishna, the GBC of Bombay. In fact, he was quite upset about the proposal, but the others said that he was just attached to my serving in Juhu because he was the GBC. Yes. Yeah. I consulted Hamsuta, who had no objection to my leaving Bombay, but thought I should travel with him in his bus program in India and do kirtan and preaching.
So the
I
funny thing
didn't.
is everybody is expecting Giriraj Maharaj to join their party. Amsuda wants him to join here in his traveling
Mhm.
party. Gopal Krishna Maharaj wants to stay in Bombay. Because if he goes, Maharaj being GPC, he will not have a better person who knows the project well. And all others are in US, Satsarup Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. They say, you come here. Because this is the period when Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Vishnu Chana Maharaj and all were literally bombarding US with books and programs. They started with one bus. They called Radha. There's a separate book for that. You should read that book after this. Radha Damodar Vilas. So that story is about this one deity Radha Damodar, which Prabhupada brought from India, and they were installed in a bus. So that bus traveling Sankirtan party started. That is the first time it started. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Vishnu Jana Maharaj, they orchestrated that whole thing. So they started off with one bus. They will go all around US. Stop, stop, stop like that. Because in US roads are good, no, so they can go easily and stop anywhere. In fact, there people, when they feel bored, want to just go for a time pass, they will take the car and go. We also used to cut across all over one place to another without any this thing. You just start driving. Uh, so many people take it as a hobby to go from New York to San Francisco like that. They go all the way. So they take the bus and they go around one place to another place, another place. In different parks, they will do drama, they will do distribution, they will do Mangalati inside only. Such austere life of brahmacharis, but they will enjoy that. So they will go, they started with one bus and they finished with 8, 10 buses. Wherever they go, they will collect more and they will rent one bus from there and they will just start going. So, and then they will go stop and then go to distribute different malls everywhere and do book distribution. So the book distribution was going like crazy. The number of full-time devotees, brahmacharis were also increasing like crazy. They will just come inside in like hippie form and come outside in shaved form. It's not joke. Really, it was happening. They'll come with all smoke, everything, all saying like that. He'll come inside like this. And one devotee will pull him and take him to the backside where they have the bathrooms and other things. They'll shave their head off and put tilak and they'll come and dhoti kurta. You should read it. It's really magic. You should read some of these books. They were the best books I have read in my early days. Servant of the Servant, Hare Krishna Explosion, then TKG Diary is one another. That is a different thing. But the Servant of the Servant and all is so good because it is based on all the letters that Prabhupada wrote to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So he writes every time he gives updates about the Radha Damodar party. That is why everybody got attracted. Man, he is sitting with the stones, cements, mud, all day sitting with these people and they are cheating in front of you. Like that, they'll start thinking, you know. But Prabhupada says, you just help me in this service. This is what I want. Devotional service is not about your pleasure. It is about serving the spiritual master and Krishna. So when Maharaj is alone, everybody will show this. The moment you tell something about good about some other place, no, the devotees will get attracted easily. It happened to me also when I was in Chennai, fourth year, entering into the fourth year. That time I got into Krishna consciousness, and fourth year we got the job and all. I got job in Bangalore already. So by the time I was entering into Krishna consciousness, I was going to the temple, local Chennai temple. It was a smaller center. But after a few months, I had to go to Bangalore for other reason. And when I went there, that hill temple was at time 96, 95, 95. 96. There in the top of the hill, they were building a big construction. I was surprised. I've never seen such a big temple in ISKCON till then. All was like small, small centers. I was like really amazed. Then I decided there were some options to take job in Chennai. I was based from Chennai only. But seeing this temple, I saw, okay, let's not take any job. In the interview, I deliberately flunked. If I pass, then they will ask me to take the job here. So I said, okay, no, I am fixed for Bangalore now. 96, 97 that time. So I used to go in there, and devotees are also very nice, and the temple was also everybody is in the Tiforia. First big temple before Delhi temple. That was first temple in big temple in ISKCON. And every time I come to Chennai on vacation, I will tell our devotees about how nice that is and all that. It will all become envious. They will tell, oh, we also want to come to Bangalore, but we are stuck in service. Now, why I am saying this is, like this, people will get attracted. When you are stuck in one place, say, oh no, this is such a nice place, you should come, amazing, this thing they are doing, all those things. Then you get mesmerized by the whole thing. So, like that, this is happening here. They are brainwashing Maharaj. Already they is brainwashed to come to ISKCON. Inside ISKCON also canvassing. I mean. Sorry, how correct it is to? It is innocent thing. See, one side, it also happens that we should not do that. That for our personal agenda, we should not try to hold somebody back. So whatever is good for them, their propensity only we should see. But many times what here and also many times not only here, everywhere, what leaders do is they try to canvas them based on if you are here, you can do nice, you are there, why you are going that far, what will you do with the money, you'll be alone, all kind of things they will say. But that internal agenda and motive will not help in the long run. Because somewhere Krishna will reveal that motive to that devotee. Because in our heart is not pure, then somehow the relationship will not happen. Should not. If you are distracted, then naturally you are doing it for your sense gratification, not for Krishna's. Right? Gaur Maharaj was staying alone in a literally worms and mosquitoes and all crazy this thing were infested with all these things in the bushes. Nobody was there. All alone he was sitting there. And he was reading Bhagavatam and doing his research translation. Whatever. So all others are doing big, big things at this time. He was not complaining about his in Bhubaneswar. Prabhupada went and stayed with him for one full month alone. He knew who is doing the austerity, who needs the support. Jayananda will not even come in front of Prabhupada, but Prabhupada deliberately will call off. Where is Jayananda? I want to see him. He will be very busy in the service. It's not that Prabhupada does not know. Prabhupada knows pretty much everything. We have to go by that. That's why we should not have our own personal agendas also. Either way, whether you are helping others also or the other person serving you also. Because personal agendas disturb the loving relationship, the flow of bhakti. Later, the other person will say, oh, for your own sake, you are telling. After that, what will happen is, suppose if this devotee goes away from that association, then this other devotee will not even contact the other person. You are not beneficial to me anymore. Why should I waste my time on you? This happens. And then they say, oh, how much I shed my time and energy and sweat and blood. Just because I moved out, you are not even talking to me. This is how the person will feel rejected and neglected. I've seen many such cases in all over, wherever I'm going.
Human tendencies.
We are not able to give it up. We are not, we means those who are in the premature stage. Like today morning also, we were talking quite some time about pakwa, maturity. That maturity is there. then both parties will say, okay, you want to take advantage of me, you want to exploit me, you do it. But as far as I am concerned, I am doing service to Krishna. Like that, if the missing person takes it, then he will not be affected by the person's failures. Krishna will also give him a way to somehow or other go out there. Another person who is leader or whoever, they can also give so many reasons. People are coming and going. I have to run this steadily. How can I run this if I don't have steady people? But the funniest thing is, whether you like it or not, nobody is steady. Nobody is steady in one place. Even if they are there only, it's very difficult to get them to come regularly. So these are all realities. And some amount of management skills are required to give some services to people who are trustworthy, reliable. If you give some service to somebody and he doesn't even show up, he doesn't even care to tell you, then the arati program, details, dressing, all the bhog offering, nothing will happen on time. So there are complications there also. But how do you handle it in a loving way with full faith in Krishna? That Krishna is taking somebody, you please arrange somebody to come and do your service. Until then, I will do whatever limited thing I can do. Understand? Say, for example, Radhanath Maharaj was in Livandavan all along for 15 years as a pujaari. Simply. Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, with all his inability, also, he was doing so much service, even when he was traveling. So many such devotees are there who are sacrificing and showing example. So we just have to not get caught up in these minor, little, insignificant things and do for a higher purpose anything. That's why today morning also I asked the people, what do you want to do service for? For visibility or for purification? Many times we do it for visibility.
So whatever the other person's reason for having us there, we have to do as a service to Krishna.
Service to
From
Krishna.
our side.
We do it. We enjoy. Basically, that's what I kept telling to everybody. We have to enjoy what we are doing. If you don't enjoy what you are doing, then there's no, you don't need an external force to come and stop your service. Our mind itself will stop. Inside only we keep a demon always. Right? If you don't enjoy Mangalarti, mind will tell you, come on, sleep. If you don't enjoy chanting, mind will tell you, come on, sleep. So everywhere the enemy is there. End of the day, nobody stops us from saying no. Honestly, we can say no, Prabhu, I like this thing better. But we are also looking for answers. Raj Maharaj, at that point, when he started hearing, being innocent, he was also looking for options. I've been here in Bombay for so long. I don't know when this thing will get completed. Every day in and day out, so much you struggled. Right? But you see one beautiful thing. Krishna, um, Krishna he doesn't let our sacrifices go unnoticed. At that time, people might be thinking, why he's wasting his time here? He can come and do service in the traveling Sankirtan party or some other temple in person. But you see now, the Juhu temple is the worldwide famous. Lakhs and lakhs of people are. And whatever time and energy that he has invested there, even now everybody is appreciative of it. This book is a manifestation of that sacrifice. And it is not just about the book, about the incidents in Juhu temple alone. You so much out of Prabhupada. We can learn so much about Prabhupada. How, against all odds, he wants to fulfill the desires, the service that the promise that he made to Krishna.
At some time, I think his disciples also said this is not going to happen.
Yeah, he spoke again and again.
Prabhupada was so consistent.
So that is the thing, we have to be a little bit. Honesty is very important. Somebody raised their hand. Yes, Prabhu, you are on mute.
Sorry. Prabhu, just like Giriraj Swami Maharaj is facing this challenge, like you also mentioned, like for his time, like Prabhupada was there to give him clear instruction. Okay, you have to do this. Like,
Sorry.
we,
What's the second statement?
I mean, like we also face this situation, similar like Giriraj Swami Maharaj, we also get confused with our devotional service, which devotional service we should follow and where we should focus on, and where we should actually stick with this. And we take advices from many senior devotees, and they give their advices according to their experiences. And there are so many instructions from Prabhupada also. Like if I saw, like Prabhupada said this also, Prabhupada said that also, and what to choose and then what to decide, and it's very difficult
Prabhu,
to.
this is the thing that I asked Maharaj, my spiritual master also. He
Mhm.
said one very important point that in the beginning it is always good to have only one guide. If you have 10 guides, then everybody will be telling right from their point of view, but you will be confused. Understand? Have only one guide with whom you can open up yourself, and they are also not exploiting you, or that kind of a guide you have, then everything will be paka. And then you will slowly, once the creeper is strong, with strong thing about the Prabhupada, you don't need so much of a hand holding. Hand holding only I'm saying. Guidance is still required from senior Vaishnavas. But hand holding is not required. So much protective thing is not. So initially it is always good to have one person and followers.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we should not think that that is the only pure devotee whom I am following. So many others are there. We tend to have that groupism then. Hey, he is my this thing. You are this thing. He is better than you. All those nonsense will come. So that is also not good. That's why maturity takes time. You cannot expect mango seed you put and tomorrow all the mango should come out. It takes its own time to grow and come out as fruit. Also takes its time to come. So maturity is a gift.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. So let's read further what Prabhupada says. It would be nice.
Okay.
Prabhu was yes.
Yeah. I didn't know what to do, and my anxiety began to mount. Eventually, it reached to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I confided in Gopal Krishna, and after discussing the situation further, we decided to ask Prabhupada. In Prabhupada's room, I began to explain with great earnest, earnestness and thoughtfulness. So also I thought how Prabhupada was now in Juhu to manage, and ECC was there for construction. But before I got out 3 sentences, Prabhupada interrupted and said, "So you want to change?" No, no, I replied. I don't want to change. I just want to do what is right, what is the best for the preaching. Prabhupada smiled and said, "Best you take up residence in India."
If you had not asked this, at least Prabhupada would have let him alone. Residence means no way you can go.
All my elaborate plans and arguments were shattered. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, I said, and I offered my obeisances and walked out. On the veranda, I turned to Gopal Krishna and said, "I feel like such a fool. I can't believe I just did that." Gopal Krishna was very kind and said, "That's all right. Prabhupada knows what we are. He understands." All this time I had been
Maharaj, Gopal
keeping
Krishna Maharaj would be very happy. His desire is fulfilled.
all this time I had been keeping the conception that I was attached not to
I was
Bombay
not
but
attached,
to
not to me.
Prabhupada. Yeah, I was attached not to Bombay but to Prabhupada. If he wanted me in Bombay, I would be in Bombay. But if he wanted me elsewhere, I would go there. I had never grasped that he wanted me in Bombay permanently. But after my meeting with him in Mayapur, I started to consider that my leaving Bombay, my leaving Bombay was not to be taken as lightly as I had been thinking. So, with renewed determination to serve the Bombay project, I returned from Mayapur.
So it's a very interesting thing. If your spiritual master wants you to do a service, do you do that service because you are attached to the spiritual master, or you are attached to that service? Or through the spiritual master advice, you get attached to the service? It's a very interesting situation.
So yeah, Christian to service.
through the spiritual master's advice,
We get attached. And if he changes the service, then we change.
that's what is happening in Maharaj's case here. He says, all this time I'd been keeping the conception that I was attached not to Bombay but to Prabhupada. If he wants me in Bombay, I would be in Bombay. If he wants me elsewhere, I would go there. But this is okay. But if this were the case, he would not have asked for Prabhupada that I want to move out from Bombay. Tough. Right? So the thing is, you should not do your service or you just do the service mechanically just because your spiritual master. I love my spiritual master, but when he says, even though I don't like, I will do it. No. The moment he says this is your service, you should become attached to that service. Otherwise, what to do? My mind will be on some other service. Prabhupada. And then my faith in the spiritual master will go down. That is the danger, more dangerous. He didn't understand my heart. He didn't understand my heart. He's not doing what I want to do. He's not telling what I want to do. Right? That is a dangerous
We
thing.
have to do what he wants us to do.
Yeah. He has to give me the order which I like to do. You order the spiritual master to order you based on what you like.
That is one of the biggest fears. That
The main
spiritual
problem
master
is-
may give some service which we can't do.
The main problem is because the direct connection with the spiritual master is not there. That's one thing. It's impossible also. And second thing is, those who are representing the spiritual master should represent 100% transparently. Again, that is where the previous point we discussed about. They will have certain agendas. So they will say, no, I want you to be in Hyderabad. I want you to be in Pune. Like that. They may have certain ideas, but then that is very closed thing is that, okay, if I have to run this thing properly, I need 4 trustworthy people at least. And those people should be always with me.
As this thing expands, we tend to have these sort of things.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, here, we don't develop that faith in Krishna, that if Krishna is taking somebody, he will give somebody. You don't have to, question Krishna that. Krishna, what is this? You're not sending anybody. How will I do service to you? Krishna expects that to do. You do whatever you can. When you need people, I would send you. Send them. So that faith we should have. Always we have seen Maharaj, Maharaj, there'll be hardly 2-3 people in the temple. And they will be already busy with the Mangalarti. You have come there. You have come now to the temple.
Next time I told them I would have.
It's like the attraction you were telling. You were telling about that. No, I told her she's a.
She's not interested. Very nice if all of you do. So the thing is, only 3-4 people will be there. All of them will be occupied in service continuously. But suddenly some 500 people will say that we are coming, can we have prasadam? How can you have only 2-3 people to cook for all of them? But then they will do. Maharaj will ask, can we do? We tell Maharaj, no problem. How it happens, we don't know. So Maharaj said, for us, 3-4 dedicated people are enough. You don't need too many. If it is there, it is well and good. But if they are immature, what will you do? Half your time you spend in solving problems, fights between them. So it is not that, only if you have too many people you can do. Maharaj built that entire Rajkot temple with 2.5 full-time devotees. That's it. Gaur Sundar. That's all. 1.5 like that here and there. They feel like coming for some time. Vaishnava Prabhu was also, up to Maharaj was there only, was put. After that, he moved to outside because he got married. Maharaj had a strict rule. Married people cannot stay inside the temple. Brahmacharis are only should stay. So it was all. So that is why we should be very careful in, seeing when we are attached to spiritual master, that is all right. But when they are giving a service, you should be attached to the service also. Because he has given it to us. Prabhupada, the spiritual master has given it to us with the faith that he will do it.
It's like Krishna has given the service to us through the spiritual master.
And so you see that service, you see the spiritual master Krishna in that service. Then you will be attached to the service. It can be as simple as you sit and chant your rounds, or you sit and read Bhagavatam. My Guru Maharaj told me, so that you do it. So that love with which you do, that is enough. That is the perfection of our mind. I will just keep doing and say, oh, that Prabhu's spiritual master has given a better seva. My spiritual master didn't know my mood. He doesn't understand what I want. This is how we become, affected by the Maya. Yeah, let's continue. Very important point we discussed. Nice.
Yeah. Upon my arrival in Juhu, I found a letter from Prabhupada waiting for me. His reply to my report about my preaching in Canary
So
Island.
from Mayapur, he is traveling back to Juhu.
It is my intelligence and your cooperation that is working. He wrote, there is a story of a man who was challenged whether he had any intelligence. He then began to look in his pocket. When he asked why he was looking in his pocket, he replied, if there is money, then there is intelligence. So you have gone so far to collect money and intelligently, but if there is no money, where is the intelligence? Both must combine, then everything works out nicely.
So Prabhupada knew that he will have all these thoughts while coming back from Mayapur to Mumbai. Before he reaches, he has already written a letter to him. Your intelligence and what is I saying? My intelligence and your cooperation. You just follow my words, follow my foresight. Please continue.
Destined and humbled by Prabhupada's words, I began to ponder their significance. But Prabhupada encouraged me to go. I considered, he even suggested that I go to East Africa. When I was in Mayapur, however, I had been getting reports that Prabhupada was not pleased with my preaching tour. Garg Muni had approached him with the same idea to go outside India and preach to Hindus in different places. And Prabhupada had told them Gira's program of collecting from Hindus in other places is not good because they are giving their hard earned money and they will want something local that they can benefit from. They won't like it that he is coming preaching for a few days, taking their money and going to Bombay. Also in Mayapur, when I had met Prabhupada.
This is also a good point because if we do something in the local, then they will get attached to that. You may stay somewhere else. Some people in East Africa, South Africa, they may attach to Bombay or Calcutta, whatever, based on their native and all that. But that is also good. But then because they are settled in the other country, it is also good to have that is why Prabhupada started temples in Durban, Johannesburg, and all those Kenya, everywhere started. Yes, Prabhu.
So
anyone
also-
else wants to take over? Who else wants to read? Maybe.
Shall I read?
Yes, Mother, but I don't know if they will hear it.
To come.
I will bring it a little closer. Please tell if you are able to hear. Now, Kamalini Mataji is going to read. She's all here. Gaurav Prabhu, you are joined. Nice to see you.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was busy last time.
No worries. Here we have Sevidya Mataji, Purna Mataji, and Kamalini Mataji here. So Mataji is going to read. Just let us know if you are able. It's audible.
Yes, it is audible, Prabhuji.
Also in Mayapur, when I had met Prabhupada, a day or two after I had presented my proposal to him about preaching in the West, he had asked me how much I had collected on my tour. I had told him about 1,00,000 rupees. Well, he had said, if you had spent the same time collecting in Bombay, Do you think you would have been able to collect as much? Probably, I had replied. Then what was the use of going? Reading
Because
Prabhupada.
what happens is when you travel, your flight ticket, your accommodation, all those expenses are also there. After that, you get something, it's going to come back. Normally, when you go for a preaching tour, that is a different thing. But this is temple related thing, no? So,
Reading Prabhupada's letter in my office in Juhu, I went over it all in my mind. On the one hand, before I had left, Prabhupada had been encouraging me to go. But on the other, while I was gone, he had been criticizing me for going when I could have been collecting in Bombay. Actually, even in the Canary Islands, I had understood that if I wanted to preach to rich Indians, Bombay was the best place. I concluded that Prabhupada had known that I had wanted to go and had encouraged me to go just to teach me this lesson.
you learn it on your own. If I tell you, you will not accept it. You have to learn it by your experience. Such a sweet realization, isn't it? This is how we see what I feel more and more as we read these things, This is a very good example of relationship between a spiritual master and a disciple. Many times spiritual master teaches by letting you go and experience on your own and get bitten and then come back. Once bitten, twice shy, you say, So that way it is the realization is even more deeper.
But these people are all very fortunate, Prabhuji. They could have that sort of association with their spiritual master and that too, Prabhupada.
Yeah.
I thought about it all day long for several days. Then finally, I just surrendered. I accepted the fact that I would be in Bombay for the rest of my life. Earlier, I had been thinking, what am I doing in Bombay? What do I have to do with Bombay or India? I'm an American. I was a college student, and suddenly I'm here in Bombay. I have nothing to do with Bombay or India. I could see being serving in Vrindavan or Mayapur, which have holy dhams, but I had thought that Bombay was just some foreign city.
Many times we also felt like that with Rajkot. Now the temple is there, visitors, attractions are there. There used to be a day time when we would just go there, Maharaj would be there, the deities and that old place there, and we wouldn't have much other things, just us and Maharaj. Sometimes Maharaj will go out for travel also, we would stay there and do some seva there, whatever. But then that place somehow, we don't know, especially for those of us who are coming from south. As it is, Gujarat is the last place you will go to, right? And on top of it, if at all you want to go for Dwarka. What else is there? Somnath, Dwarka, and these are the only places. In the middle of it, so nowhere some Rajkot is coming. Ahmedabad also we don't care much. For us, beyond Bombay, it is another country. Right? For most people, it is like that. Delhi also is just capital city, that's all we know. We don't know all these other places. So when Rajkot was there, Maharaj kept telling, this potential here. Hardly some 15-20 people will come. For that, we'll be running around to do programs and all that. So it was going on like that. But within 6 months, that 15-20 people become 500. Every Sunday program was coming. Other days we'll have to go, there won't be any shop in between. We had to go fully forest kind of a thing, completely barren on both sides. We just have to go 10 kilometers into the city. We take people from from the city in car, give them a ride, come, let them come and have program, then again go and drunk. Like that, some people were there to do that seva. Then Maharaj will give them class and talk to them like that. There was water problem was there. Everything was a challenge there. In the beginning days, big snakes will be coming, and all those lizards, big lizards will be there. And we won't have any snake catchers. The devotees only will do that job also. There were some devotees who were, when I am talking, suddenly what are these things? Small, my eyes make that snake will go. Where is the snake? There was 9 feet long snake. It will be lying in the near the compound, it will be there. So we were having those kinds of days also. And but Maharaj kept on telling there is so much potential, so much potential. Now you see, when some Janmashtami is coming, you want a space to stand also. It's such a huge temple.
Yes, itself is
Sunday is
big problem.
and now Somnath is becoming like that. Somnath is getting so many people, local people are coming. So Maharaj had a vision
They have a vision that will manifest.
that manifests. Juhu temple at that time it was like a fisherman's cave. But now you go there, it's totally 1 inch also you cannot get. On the Janmashtami days you go, it's all blocked.
Even on a Sunday also so.
On Sundays also. Okay, let's continue.
Now I could see that actually the internal cultivation of Krishna consciousness was transcendental to time, place, or situation. It didn't matter whether I was.
See, it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful realization. Actually,
Wherever
internal
you-
cultivation of Krishna consciousness is transcendental to time, place, or situation.
It didn't matter. That's what Prabhupada also used to say. Vrindavan means you can create Vrindavan wherever you are.
Yeah.
It didn't matter whether I was in Bombay or New York or Chicago or any other place. The transcendental process could go on anywhere and not be affected by the geographical location. By Krishna's arrangement, I had been engaged in service in Bombay, and by Prabhupada's desire, I had been engaged in a particular way there. So I accepted it. Well, my body is going to be given for Krishna service somewhere, and it could be anywhere. So why not in Bombay?
See, this is the beauty, you know. Many times you say, oh, Vrindavan, that's where I will have to leave my body. I'm saying somewhere else. No such things. Consciousness is more important. Which place?
Not only that, Prabhuji, even if we wish, what has Krishna decided for us, where to go,
We
how
don't
to
know.
go,
We don't know.
we don't know. So wherever Krishna wants us to be, to leave our body, whatever.
Continue.
A couple of weeks later, Kuladri, who was passing through Juhu, perhaps also coming from the festival, told me that New Vrindavan had never really developed until devotees had started surrendering to their project and committing themselves to dedicating this lifetime. When one devotee did that, and then another, the project really got going.
See, this is a very important point. You have to surrender to that service, to that project. If you suppose you are doing a children's program, any challenges or anything you may get it, but still you surrender means whatever happens, I will not leave. I will continue my seva. Then Krishna will remove the hurdles one by one.
I saw that this was what had happened to me, and that from me it would have to spread to others, and then the Juhu project could really take shape. And that
It's a
was
very important point.
Mm.
See, if the one leader who is there, if he is not sold out to that project, he cannot inspire others to take. He cannot be like a manager. Come on, you do it, you do it, you do it. I get all the name and fame. That doesn't work. Eventually, it shows up because your heart is not there in that project. Your heart is only in name and fame. See, if your heart is in that project, you will give credit to everyone else. Just take for yourself. Very important point that is. From us only, the inspiration has to spread to others. If you are attached to Bhagavatam, if you are attached to Prabhupada's books, then what you say, people will listen.
Yes, that is
If you yourself are attached, but you keep on telling, oh, read Prabhupada, read Prabhupada, read Prabhupada, it will not work.
we will not have the conviction to convince others. Um,
And that's it.
And that was how I ultimately surrendered to staying in India, in Juhu. From then on, I just accepted Prabhupada's desire for me to be in Bombay. When Kuladri had said about New Vrindavan was true, By actually surrendering and dedicating oneself to a particular project, one could work more sincerely and accomplish more service.
Very important point. Suresh Prabhu, I see you raise your hand.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Regarding
Hare Krishna.
New Vrindavan, I want to share one experience.
Yes,
and,
Prabhu.
one memory of Radha Swami has shared in his classes. I
Yes,
just
Prabhu.
want to share here, Prabhu.
Yes,
So,
Prabhu.
there were a lot of difficulties. Radhanath Maharaj spent the initial days at that New Vrindavan. He was asked to be there, sir. He was a head priest there, head pujari there. And there were shortage of funds. There was not a big devotees there for in that temple, and so there was shortage of funds. So everything was shortage. Only thing that milk was enough there. There were some cows, and there was sufficient amount of milk was there, and nothing else. No funds, no money was there to buy things and make better opulent shringar there. So one incident that what they did is Radhanath Maharaj was also helping in cooking, and there he has developed a cooking of that Sandesh sweet. You heard about Prabhu Sandesh?
Love feast.
Sandesh.
Sandesh. Yes.
That was the food. That was the sweet Prabhupada used to like very much. It was his most favorite sweet, Sandesh. So he developed Sandesh such a way that he was the one of the best Sandesh maker in the world. That I would say, because that Sandesh means actually you the milk. They add some vinegar or something. Then the milk breaks it, and that solid part of the milk is made. They mashed it and then add sugar and then make small balls, and that is a Sandesh actually. But he used to mash it such a way, it is for hours together he used to mash. It was told that 5 to 6 hours he used to mash that just the milk, the solid milk. And then when he prepares the sandesh, it was the most delicious thing when it is put on the tongue. So when it was served to Prabhupada, he never forgot. Till last moment he remembered this sandesh made by Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And when Kirtanand Swami last went to meet Prabhupada, he asked, "Where is that sandesh? I want it." And with that sandesh or sweets, they wanted to generate funds, Prabhuji, for temple. Just imagine. And he was doing it. And the Chandramauli Maharaj, Chandramauli Swami, you know it, no? He's in Bombay temple. So he has once purchased it. He once purchased it, that sandesh, and he forgot it in his car for a month actually. After 1 month, he remembered that the sandesh is there lying there. Then when he tasted, it was same taste as the first day he tasted it. So that was the quality. It was prepared by Radhanath Swami.
Normally it can't stand. Amazing.
Yeah.
There's one more devotee who used to make amazing Mangalarti sweets, milk sweets, is Kulangana Mataji.
I heard about. Yeah.
She makes nice design in that milk sweets. The milks from the cow, that ahimsa milk from the cow, 2 o'clock she'd start making the early morning. She's like 80 plus years old. And she passed away 2-3 years ago. And she would make it every day without fail. She'll make with all nice designs, very attractive designs. When I came from UK, I got this much. People will stand in queue to get those sweets in the morning. Yes. Yes, thank you for that sharing that incident. Yes, Mother.
When I accepted that,
This is a nice thing coming here.
When I accepted that I would be in Bombay permanently, I began to see things in a new light. Whomever I met, I would think, you are going to be here and I am going to be here. So we may as well get to know and like each other.
Nice, no? You are also good. Better to have a friendly neighbor.
If I met someone and asked for a donation or try to engage him in some other service and he declined, I would always try to leave him with a good impression, because I would think, I'm going to be here for a long time and you're going to be here for a long time. We will meet again.
Very interesting. See, it's a very interesting thing because in Bhagavatam, the reverse is also there. Maharaj put the reverse thing also. That Vartamana Punarbhavaha. Dishtya Sansara Chakresmin, Vartamana Punarbhavaha means when we meet, it is like a new birth for us, for both. Because we don't know on the way so many things could have happened. But Krishna has made sure that we are in shape to meet. So better you, because somebody is taken fresh birth means you will be really happy to see them now. Instead of frowning or screaming and shouting. So that is the one way where you see the other person, may not see the other person again. But here, the reverse is also true. When you are going to see them all the time, why you have a frowning face and enmity with them?
Good rap.
Yeah,
Does anybody want to read?
yeah. Who wants to read on the online?
I will read, Prabhu.
Yes. Mayapur festival.
After the Mayapur festival, Prabhupada visited Haridaspur, Calcutta, Delhi, Modi Nagar, Aligarh, and Vrindavan, and arrived in Juhu on April 11. The next morning, before going for his walk on the beach, he made a careful inspection of entire building site. All the ground floor construction for the temple, auditorium, and twin tower guest house was finished. Prabhupada was pleased with the ECC's work. He tapped the pillars with his cane and said, "Very good." So his cane was the testing device. And Prabhuji, I have worked with ECCs, I tell you,
Sorry?
various sites. I have worked with ECC, this engineering construction company, Chennai. It is Chennai-based company, and I worked on different the civil projects also. So
Yeah.
these people are very professional, and everything with as per the
So who brought
rules.
DCC? Who brought DCC into play?
Last time
L&D.
we read.
One this thing, who was that construction? No, that person that. So there was some inaccuracies in the construction, Prabhu, initial stage.
So
Dheer, Mr. Dheer.
I forgot his name. So there, then if that construction with that kind of construction, it will be very poor, and then uh, Maharaj has thought that we should get the professionals better, best professionals, and that ECC is one big person has visited the temple, and that's how they got connected. And then he asked that whether they can take the construction of this temple, and then discuss.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they agreed on some point.
Yeah.
They are very most topmost construction company in India, Prabhu. With all infrastructure they have got, they are the very one of the biggest. I will say number one construction company in India and other places also. They have worked on the different atomic power plants and dams construction, roads construction, and all that they are involved in. So he tapped the pillars with this cane and said, "Very good. There is a big difference between this and the other work that was being done earlier, I think." One thing that Mr. Dheer had been concerned about was the temple's foundation. And he had promised that when ECC took over the job, they would strengthen the foundation done by the previous contractor, which included both the guest houses and the temple. And that was the first thing ECC did. They used a sophisticated technical process that employed high pressure to fill in all the holes and gaps in the foundation and added layers of cement on top of that. With the construction now progressing well, Prabhupada spoke with me about that, about what deities would should we install in the new temple. There are many devotees of Rama in Bombay. So he said, and he suggested that we should have Lord Ramchandra. We discussed different possibilities: Sita Ram, Lakshmana, Hanuman, Sita Ram, Lakshmana, Hanuman, and their associates. So finally, he decided Sita Ram, Lakshmana, Hanuman.
These Sita
The
and Lakshmana are
first
the most beautiful Ram Parivar in all the temples, not only ISKCON, anywhere else you go also. They and then followed by Manor. Manor Sitaram Lakshmana, Bhaktivedanta Manor. They are really sweet, very beautiful. And then later in Delhi also they brought Sitaram.
Yeah.
No, in Rajkot.
Rajkot is really recent. I'm telling when.
Very beautiful.
Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
The first altar was clear, Guru Gauranga as in Vrindavan, and the central altar would be of Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari ji. What if we have Lalita and Vishaka with Radha and Krishna? I suggested. Prabhupada eyes widened, his eyebrows raised, and his lips spread in a broad smile. Oh yes, he said. Very good, very good idea. Personally, I didn't think the idea was so exceptional. Prabhupada had already installed Lalita and Vishaka with Sri Radha Shyam Sundara in Vrindavan. But he made a big thing of it, as if it was a stroke of genius and inspiration. In times to come, I would think of its significance that we approach Radha and Krishna through or with the help of their gopi friends and servants, such as Lalita and Vishaka. 6 weeks later, Saurabha wrote Prabhupada, who was then Los Angeles, to clarify the standard of worship in new temple, whether there should be any change or any special arrangement such as extra bhajans. Prabhupada replied on June 7, for worshipping the deities in Bombay, including Sitaram, there is absolutely no change in worship. Adopt the same method as in our Vrindavan center with 3 pujaris, just like in Vrindavan. They are all Vishnu's tattva. Ramchandra, Radha Krishna, Gaur Nitai. No additional kirtans. Simply do exactly as in Vrindavan. In addition to the main temple complex, Prabhupada, you said something, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhu.
In addition to the main temple complex, Prabhupada wanted another building constructed on the same vacant land towards the rear of the property, near the southern border. The building would house a godown for storing books, classrooms for a Gurukula school, and a Vanaprastha ashram, a facility for elderly people to stay at Hare Krishna land, to retire from their material responsibilities and take up spiritual responsibilities. He gave the example of former mayor Rauji Ganatra. He is building constructed on the. He gave the
Sorry,
example
Prabhu, we are
of
not able
former
to hear
mayor.
you.
Huh? Can you? Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
He is just the kind of a person we want. The rooms could be small, he said, but should have all the basic amenities. Although these Vanaprasthas would be living a simpler life in the ashram, we couldn't expect them to change their lifestyle completely. So he was so much concerned for Vanaprasthas also, see, Prabhuji. Most evenings, Prabhupada would meet with visitors on the roof. We never took up his subsequent suggestion that we should have devotees speak on the terrace in the evenings, preaching in different languages. Since whoever presented the message of Krishna would get good results, but his roof talks were a treat for devotees and visitors alike. During one such darshan, he met with 5 or 10 devotees and a few Indian guests, including a famous movie star and his wife. Somebody had brought mangoes for him, and at one point he called for a knife and told a devotee to cut a mango and distribute it as a prasada. So a brahmachari got a knife and sliced the mango, but it was dripping juice all over. So it was a mess. You cannot cut it, Prabhupada asked. You cannot cut it. The knife is not very sharp. The brahmachari replied, that is that is not the way to cut it. The movie star wife interjected, give it to me. Yes. Prabhupada said, you do not know how to cut. One who knows, let him cut. So the woman took the mangoes, cut it into 2 neat halves and scored the flesh into crisscross cubes. Then she popped the insides out, and it was a simple matter to pick up the cubes of the peel. Prabhupada laughed at how expertly and neatly she had done it. Just see, he said, even for cutting a mango, one requires a guru. Then he quoted from the Mundaka Upanishad. My God.
Tadvijnanatam Sagurum Eva Abhigachet.
To learn the science, one must certainly approach a spiritual master. Guest and the devotees all laughed, and Prabhupada told the brahmachari to distribute the prasada one piece to everyone. So I think that is Vaijanti Mala Prabhuji.
Yeah, I think so. But then he said, but he's saying
And her husband.
movie star's wife is telling. So the husband is a movie star. I'm not sure if it is some other, I don't know what was. Baijantimala came later, I think. Yeah.
So anybody else like reading?
We will have to stop. Yeah. So up to one more paragraph. Who wants to read 2-3 paragraphs there? Anybody?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Gaurav Prabhu.
Everything requires a guru, Prabhupada repeated. Otherwise, one remains a fool, rascal, that's all. In every item, you require a guru. And to understand Krishna or God, everyone thinks they are independent. Just see the foolishness. Yata mata tatha patha. You consider about God in your own way. It doesn't require any guru. This foolishness is going on. For cutting a mango, one requires a guru. And to understand Krishna, he doesn't require a guru. This foolishness is going on. And Krishna says, Tadvidde pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinam. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Krishna says you have to understand like this, but everyone is thinking, why shall I go to a guru? The first requirement, he continued, is humility that I have no knowledge. I have to go to somebody who has knowledge. This is humility. And if you think I have got very advanced knowledge, why shall I go to anyone? There is no entrance into knowledge. He is finished from the beginning.
Yes, bro, we'll stop here.
Yes.
This topic is changing here. 370. Towards the end, we stopped. Nice. Thank you for joining in. whenever we have a proper Smaranam, it really uplifts our consciousness. So
Earlier also making chapati. It was not. Prabhupada said, you
Yeah.
do not know
that puffed up, yeah.
how to do. Let me do it. The first one did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Prabhu, I had a question regarding this incident. I mean, last time we discussed this. I think it was Harikesha Swami that was making the chapati. So, Prabhu, I mean, we see day in and day out. I mean, apparently, if somebody is doing something which is not pleasing to Prabhupada now also. So, what should be our
Sorry,
stand?
come again. What?
So, if we observe somebody doing something which is not pleasing to Prabhupada, so what should be our stand, Prabhuji? I mean, in that case,
We should lovingly explain to them, lovingly tell them. One thing, if we become too upset or angry or all that, then what happens is half of the intention, half of the effort is lost there. Because even if that person had a little bit of listening attitude, that will also become, and we are not so pure that we can get so much angry or upset at somebody. Anything you say, you tell lovingly, or at least in a soft way. It will hurt you internally when they are doing like that. But we are not foolproof. We also offend many times knowingly or unknowingly, right? So many times what happens is I am above all other kinds of, I am above any kinds of mistakes and scrutiny. Then I become Inspector General. Then that is where people start getting pissed. And when they see that, like many times people are innocent. At that time, somebody is like a leader and they're saying, no, you do this right, you're wrong, you are this, like that and all. They will be very humble in the beginning. Slowly, what happens? After some time, they'll go to some Mayapur or Vrindavan or somewhere. They will see some other devotees. Hey, this person is different. He's not commanding like that. So slowly they start feeling that, hey, there are devotees like the other way also. This is not correct. So one thing Maharaj always said, Mr. Maharaj always said that if you have too much of controlling propensity, then some point people will pull the rug from under your feet. It will happen. Because people can't tolerate this controlling thing for a long time. So anything that we do, we should not be, with the controlling, I'm the controller, the team, falsifiable thing should be. Without that, if you tell, things will work out. So we should also not go with this attitude, hey, when I stay, people should listen. That also is a
Very basis of our Krishna conscious movement. I'm not the controller, I'm not the agent.
good question, Prabhu. Thank you. We'll stop here. Krishna willing, we'll continue in the next session. Maybe we'll do it there, Gaurav Prabhu.
Yes, eagerly waiting, Prabhuji.
Krishna willing. One of the evenings we'll see.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhus. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhus Mataji. Hari Bol. We'll all catch up with you soon. Again. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
How is Chanchal Pate's Prabhu son, Prabhuji?